It's recording. It's
We're
on.
going to go ahead and we're going to start officially. And I'm going to
Yes.
say good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And I just came online briefly. I mean, I know some people on here, but we do find I'm going to go offline again because we do find that when I stay online, we sometimes have bandwidth issues. So I want to say welcome to, is there a feedback?
Yes.
I want to say welcome to the Housing and Block Association committee meeting. This is, I'm making sure I don't have anything else turned on. Our last meeting, can I ask everyone to mute if you don't mind? It doesn't look like everyone is muted.
Yeah, I just did.
Our last meeting was on March 5th. And just a quick recap of that meeting, we had Miss Alison Martinez and Joan Erskine from Brooklyn Level Up. They spoke about the upcoming tax lien sale. And we're mentioning the tax lien sale again because that's extremely important. We've shared tons of information on how to get off the tax lien. We currently have 1,100 properties in CB 17 and CB 18 on that list. And if anyone needs that list, we're going to share it with you again. Extremely important to retain home ownership, especially in these two communities of marginalized groups who had a hard time getting these properties due to redlining, suburbanization, and many other issues, just to name a few. Another item at that meeting that we had discussed, we had a list of available housing. These housing are in Community Board 17, some are in Queens, one or two are in Harlem. We've shared this list with our community as well, just so that people who are looking for residences are able to apply. We've also shared organizations such as NHS, Neighborhood Housing Services, Flatbush Development Corp, Erasmus Development as well. We've shared many community organizations who are able to help with the application process. These applications can be a little cumbersome for people to complete from time to time. The next two items, we're Community Board 17, we will be partnering with NHS regarding a real estate and property management conference. This will be held at Medgar Evers, and this will be coming up on May 2nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you're interested, we're going to be emailing this out. We're also going to have it in our newsletter. Another initiative that we're going to be collaborating with will be a housing resource fair. This is with NHS as well. This will be at Brooklyn College on June 7th, which is a Saturday from 10 to 3. There will be lots of information shared at these two different initiatives. Whether you're a property owner, whether you're looking to own a property, it is extremely beneficial. And just because we're cognizant of the time of all of you on here and our guests, that pretty much ends my report. And I'm going to leave questions after. We have with us tonight, we have two different guests. Our first guest is Mr. Jose Velez. And Mr. Velez is with HPD, and he's here, not with HUD, he's here to speak about the shower bus. When I say shower bus, I'm going to let him explain much more with what's going on with the shower bus. But he's here to field any questions that you might have. This is a grant that was received from Congresswoman Yvette Clarke's office, a grant for over $358,000. We are in the initial stages. There are a lot of questions. We need to understand what needs to be done. And some people are asking, why a shower bus? I live a few blocks from King's Theater. I walk on Flatbush Avenue and I see there's definitely a need. There are more unhoused people in our community. There is a need in our community and beyond. So this is part of the reasons why my predecessor had applied for this grant, and we know that it will be useful in this community. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Velez. He's going to explain the process to us. He's going to be able to answer questions and give him time to introduce himself as well. Mr. Velez, thank you so much for coming, and I'll turn it over to you. I believe you might be on mute.
Yeah, I'm unmuting him now. Mr.
How's
Velez,
that?
go ahead.
How's
Yeah,
that?
we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just unmuted.
Okay. I was just asking you, excuse me, how to pronounce your name. I was asking if it was Renew.
Dr.
Yes,
Renal.
it is. Yes, it
It
is.
is.
That's perfect.
Okay. Just want to make sure I get it right. So thank you. Excuse me. I don't know why, what it is, what's going on here. I'll hopefully it'll clear up. I had dinner before I came on, so maybe I'm reacting to maybe some of what I ate. But anyway, yes, my name is Jose Velez. I work for the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Many of you have heard of them. The project that we're going to talk about, I want to make sure you understand one major thing is that I don't know anything about it. Okay, what I do know, what I have, is I work for the federal government, so I have available to me systems, grant management systems, which will be used to oversee and oversee this project and spend down the money and have a contract executed properly and things like that. So I was hoping to come here and hear from you what this is about, because I'm very intrigued by it, but I have not seen a description of it, and I'll explain that in a minute. But so I can kind of guess, and I think I was right, given Ms. Renew what you said about unhoused people on Flatbush Avenue. So we could talk about that. I'm very curious about it. But you asked me, what is the process? The process for this has started, and it started a while ago. It's a $3.3 million that the Congressperson Yvette Clarke provided, and that was through a special initiative, which many people. I've worked for the federal government for over 15 years, and I also know about a lot of funding programs, federal, state, and local. I used to work City Hall. In fact, I worked on Flatbush Avenue. I used to be the director for the Flatbush Development Corporation years ago. And so I know the area very well. I'm pleased to see that there's a program like this basically rising up from the community. This is based on very desperate community need, and it's conceived by the community and will be developed by the community, a community organization. But I have a couple of basic questions to help me understand something here. One is, Ms. Renaud, you said that it was your predecessor that developed this project, correct? Or that wrote up the proposal that got funded by the Congresswoman. Is that correct?
Yes, it was. The person before me, Miss Perlene Fields, may she rest in peace. She passed on, but this is the person who did the grant, and the grant was approved. Ms. Frazier, correct me if I'm misspeaking. The grant was approved. Was it after she had passed, or
After she passed?
Okay.
She started the process. Then we were surprised because she never mentioned it in any of our meetings. So when the office was contacted, we were elated. Oh, this is something that she did, and we figure
Interesting.
we're going to continue and
Okay.
maybe do something in her honor
Okay.
since she started this process.
I see. I
And
see.
we definitely have an idea, and we know why she did it. And just in a nutshell, because you do already have shower buses out there.
Yes.
A
Google
shower
it.
bus
I'm
is a
reading on
mobile
it.
unit that provides showers, restrooms, and other services to
Right.
people experiencing homelessness. No, it's not only a shower bus. There will be hot showers available. There will be restrooms, And a key part of it are the support services such as mental health, such as peer counseling, such as housing, employment, and other services that will be available. A big part of it is to move our members of our community that are experiencing homelessness, to move them back into a more well-rounded member of the community. The bus would travel from location to location, and there are definitely buses that are out there. It's not only for Community Board 17 per se, but that's pretty much how it works. And there are a few things that we need to iron out. We spoke about it briefly at the last meeting. If anyone is interested to see one, there is a Brooklyn Community Service shower bus that's already running. That's been up and running for a few years. And God Squad also has a shower bus, and we were thinking about partnering with them, but we don't know yet. So we know you're the funding and you're the disbursement person. So we're having these discussions to marry everything to get it going.
Mhm. Okay, so this project, this whole program is called the Capital Community, Community Project Funding. Community Project Funding. That's the name of the program. It was derived, created, and designed by Congress. It's a very unusual program because most of the time when Congress passes a funding bill for a program, it will go to HUD, and then HUD will then seek seek proposals. In this case, it was the seeking of the proposals was done directly by the Congresswoman, which is very unusual. I've never heard of it. I love it. I think it's great. It sort of brings and connects the political funding stream with the community. I mean, it's perfect. I wish this had been thought of many years ago. So having said that, this is a $3.3 million funding proposal to serve your constituents. Now, it's Community Board 17 is a municipal agency. It's not nonprofit, right? And so, but municipal agencies are permitted to apply for this. In fact, even businesses, for-profit ventures, can apply for this kind of money. Okay, but they have to apply directly to their congressperson. Okay, so I just want to kind of lay out that a little bit because I think it's important to understand and appreciate how this was conceived and the roles of the various people. My role will be to help you spend this money. Okay, I'm going to simplify it. Help you spend the money and spend it properly. This is not also a program that is heavily regulated. Okay, there are. I'm not going to overburden you with a lot of information here yet, but this is. There are only about 3 or 4 sets of regulations. You may know about one of them, for example, environmental review. This program has to go through an environmental review, and I am here to help you get that done. Another requirement by law, another regulatory requirement, is that you use what's called Section 3, which is simply it's part of the IRS code, I think. That is Section 3. They ask you to comply with Section 3 requirements, which is simply that you kind of share the wealth a little bit.
I muted
by having local contractors include women and minority-owned businesses. So that's the Section 3. That's just 2 out of 4. I'm not going to go into the other 2. It's not that important right now. I just want to lay out to you a little bit of the structure and more about my role and what your role has to be also. So we have an idea now. The money, it comes from HUD through Congress, but only to help administer and develop this program from step one through the end when the funding runs out, and then maybe you'll have more money from some other sources or from this program. Right now, this program, this I meant to say community project funding program, has been around for 3 years. Fiscal year 22, 23, and 24. Fiscal year 25, there's going to be some money in there also for it, but I don't know how much. No, it's not. Hasn't been developed as far as I know. There's a total throughout the country of $7.5 billion. Okay, this is only 3.3 million of the 7.5 billion, but it's, as I said, very community oriented. They're very rooted in the community, the political community, as well as the real community of people where people live. So now, as I might have mentioned, my job is to help you submit the necessary documents that will enable you to engage in a contract with the federal government. And some of this information could be a little daunting. It's just bureaucratic forms, you know, and unfortunately, this is the federal government. We're nothing if we're not bureaucratic about things. But I'm here to help you kind of understand the bureaucracy a little bit. You don't have to be an expert, but if we need to have, for example, on the 1199A, which is a form to enable you to set up a bank account so that the money can be deposited and dispersed from there, all you need to know is what the 1199A looks like, where to sign, how to fill it out, and things like that. And if you have any problems filling out the forms, you come to me. And if I don't know how to do it, I will find somebody that does, and you will receive, you know, some training and things like that. But basically what I'm saying is that this is your program. I am just a lonely little bureaucrat that's going to help you spend that money, okay, and implement the project. So I will be around for a while to help you with this. So when I say for a while, it may take weeks, it may take months to get to the point where you're ready to execute the contract. I'm going to help you with that. Another key fact that you should be aware of is that you can't spend any money until you sign that contract. So that's why I'm emphasizing, I'm going to bring you to the point where you can then start spending the money, start drawing down. Now, I have a question. This project has not started, right? There's no bus has been purchased. No expenses have been incurred yet. Is that correct?
That's correct. Nothing has been started at this point.
Okay, good.
And Ms. Frazier, please feel free to chime in if I'm sharing wrong information, but that's my understanding.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We were actually waiting for directives on how to move forward. And everything stalled after Ms. Fields passed. We had to, Dr. Renault was appointed by the chair, and that has brought us, a matter of fact, it took us a while to understand who to contact, because I've been going back and forth until you finally responded to me, and I was like,
Right.
hallelujah,
Yeah.
here we are. So let's get started on this project.
Right. Well, let me
So
tell you,
nothing has been done.
and let me just say that it just happened that I came along because 3 months ago, I didn't know anything about this program. I mean, I knew a little bit. I heard rumblings of this new program coming down the pipe. We might be asked to do this or that. This was created in the prior administration, right? Obviously, since it goes back 3 years. But what's happened is that the federal government has been trying to help you spend the money, but there's more money and more projects than there are people to help you with it. And only until about 3 months ago that the powers that be said, we want HUD to oversee these projects. We want HUD. It's called Office of Community Planning and Development. That's who I work for. HUD is a big agency, big bureaucracy. So just keep in mind, CPD, Community Planning and Development, that office is the office I work for. And so the CPD staff people throughout the country, there's about 1,000 of us, I think, are going to be responsible for spending $7.5 billion and helping the organizations benefit from all this. But understand that we cannot make decisions about the budget. We cannot make decisions about a lot of things. And we know maybe a little bit more than you do about the program because we're learning as we go along. Okay. So if you ask me a question, I may not know the answer, but I can get the answer for you. The bus, I love the bus idea, by the way. I had never heard of it. I loved it. I think I knew what it was, and now it's been confirmed what it is. And this is the key. This is an important point also. There has to be someone, one person in charge, right? That could be anyone that you want, but that person is the person that received the award letter. Now we know she's passed on, right? Or unless the award letter came in after she passed on. So that's why there's no name attached to this. What I was going to show you is that's, you know, the system that I was going to show you shows that there's a name missing as to the authorized representative. It could be the district manager, it could be the assistant district manager, but it has to be one person that's already been identified. Now, if that person, for whatever reason, is not around anymore, then we have to go through a little bit of a process to fix that. Okay. Now that one person is all you need, and that one person can bring on as many people necessary to help with the paperwork. But it comes from that one person. So Ms. Frazier, I think you're going to be, obviously, I think you would be, so I don't want to tell you what to do. But
I have to wait. The executive would have to make a decision on who will champion this project.
okay.
I don't know if the chair would prefer the chair of the committee, or if the chair would prefer maybe myself and the ADM in the office. I don't know.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
Dr. Renaud, we'll have a conversation about that and
Okay.
moving forward, but I'm quite sure that we're all excited to get this process started as soon as possible.
Mhm.
Right, Dr. Renaud? Go ahead.
Oh, yes. And it does make a lot of sense for it to be or district manager or assistant district manager, because they have a longer life in the community board, generally speaking. The chairs change from time to time. People roll on and off these boards. So it's better to have one set person.
Mhm.
We're not trying to give Ms. Fraser work, but we will speak. We will speak offline.
All she has to do is sign the paperwork.
Execute the contract. But my question,
I'm ready to work. I really would like to see this done.
I'm going to open it to questions though, Mr. Velez. One of the questions that I had, and for everyone on here, we thank you so much for your time. And if you need a copy, Mr. Velez did send out, and we did share it with everyone that we had. There is an FAQ for the community project funding grant that was disseminated to the committees. And if anyone needs it, please let us know. We're going to send it to you. I've read it. I've seen it. It speaks about the length of time that you have to use this money. It speaks about many different things. And you did mention Section 3. You did mention the MWBEs. But just to clarify, is there a certain time frame? Like, do we have to use this money within 8 years, 9 years?
That's a good question. I don't know. I can look into it and get back to you, but probably it's hard to say. It's because it's not regulated. I'm guessing now. Okay, this is 40 years of work in the community that's helping me guess a little bit here, but I'm guessing that you probably don't have a lot of regulations about it, and therefore if it goes on for a long, long time, whatever that is, it's probably not going to be a problem. Okay. Having said that, I will look into it and get back to you.
And I know sometimes coming from as a public school teacher, sometimes the quicker you spend money, the better it is. So we have to keep that in mind as well. The faster
Yes,
you spend
correct.
it.
But understand also one key thing about this is that by the way, this program flows out of an EDI, which stands for Economic Development Initiatives, I think. So economic development projects by nature tend to sometimes take years. Not that this will, but it's rooted into that larger program area, EDI. This is referred. You'll notice. Actually, you don't have yet the guide, but I'm going to send you a guide. And there's two guides. One will be for the technical system that you're going to be using to get to the point of contract execution. And then the other guide is just basically, and it's designed for you as the grantee. You're considered the grantee. The other one is for the EDI program. So it's DRGR is one, which stands for Disaster Recovery Grant. DRGR, Grant Resource, I think. I'm not sure. But the DRGR, and the guide for the DRGR and the guide for the program, I will send to you after tonight. And it must go, and you must start reading it. It's chock full of helpful hints, chock full of hyperlinks in case you want to know more about a particular topic, or if you want to find this 1199A form. Where is it? What are you talking about? Let me see. There's a button, you just upload it, things like that. Or if there's a webinar on DRGR, how does it? You can just hyperlink. These are two excellent guides, which I will get to you. I held off doing it because I knew I was going to have this conversation. And I didn't want to overload you and didn't want to, start getting you confused or anything like that. So there's a lot to understand here and know here. And the guides will help you with that. I will be part of you. I'm your human guide. Okay. The other one is a paper guide. But together we'll figure things out and move you along. Let me just also add, I've failed to mention the process here, part of the process. So we go to contract execution, right? We'll get there, you'll sign it, and you can start talking about spending the money. Immediately following that is you have to submit an action plan. And an action plan has to be reviewed and approved by me. And all the instructions on how to develop the action plan is in the guide, is in one of these guides, okay? Once the action plan is approved, my role is more or less complete. I will still be around. I'm not going to abandon you, but then the whole project gets shifted over to headquarters, and headquarters will deal with some of the more technical issues or problems that you might have. For example, you put together a voucher to get paid, and you submit it, and there's a problem with it, or it doesn't work, or whatever. Electronically, it's not working. You then contact the headquarters office. You'll have another Jose Velez over there. So I'm the Jose Velez from the New York City field office in Lower Manhattan. And then there's another Jose Velez unnamed to date at headquarters to help you with every aspect of this program. So you're going to have a lot of support. Okay. Just wanted to mention that.
All right. For those of you who joined, and for those of you who's been on here, we've been discussing a grant, and Mr. Velez is with HUD, and Mr. Velez is the person who will be dispersing this grant, and it is a community project funding grant. We want to open it up to everyone else. For those of you who's been here, what questions do you have for Mr. Velez? Because there are some things that we need to iron out on the community board level as well.
Mr. Velez, I know there is a time frame, and I may not have gone through the whole um, FAQ. How long are we allowed to hold on to these funds before we could get the process started?
Well, the funds have been awarded. Let me say
Okay.
that, right? But they
Right.
haven't been obligated in the sense
Okay.
that you're ready to spend it. When you sign that contract, that's when all the legal obligations kick in, right? You'll have to follow certain rules about it. You'll have to set up an accounting system. You'll have to, you know, just comply with the agreement. I have not seen a grant agreement for this project yet. I don't have to. You know, but you will at some point, and it will take. I hope that it will not take more than 6 weeks to get to that point. Can it be done faster? Probably. Everything can be done faster. We're Brooklyn, New Yorkers, right? But from what I'm seeing, because it's a bit of a learning curve, maybe not a bit, a pretty sizable learning curve, where, you know, as you're learning, you know, things kind of go slow and then they drop down fast after that. So, and there's a learning curve for me too, as I mentioned before. I'm new to this as well, not as new as you, but I'm only three months into it. When the
Okay.
learning curve, I think, is a good 6 to 9 months, to be honest with you.
Okay. Well, we're ready to get started, and I know
Okay.
that I'll be communicating with Dr. Renaud because I listened to you and I made some notes. There's certain things that we must start working on immediately. And one of the most important is the bank account. So we're going to get that started, make sure we have that in
Yes.
place. And
Gotta
then,
have a bank account.
yes, we must have that, get that started. And yeah, Dr. Renaud.
Ms. Fraser, I see we have a few questions and I'm glad. The
Big
first hand that I saw was Jackie and Marina, and then
Yes.
followed by Robin.
Yeah, I'm going to check too. Go ahead.
Yes, hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Jackie Namuila. I am from the community. I just wanted to find out, would you be sharing the guide to this talking point? That's my first question. And my second question is, will you be looking for vendors to be the operators? I ask this because I'm pretty familiar with securing contracts through the government. And we also have our MWBE.
Jackie, can I ask you if you can please drop your email in the chat at least?
Sure, appreciate it.
Ms.
Thank
Fraser, is that the best way? Can we have her
Yes.
call in as well, or?
Absolutely. And whatever information I have, if everyone did not receive the FAQ, I will resend that. And whatever information I receive from Mr. Velez, I'll share with the committee. So please drop your email. I'm sure you're on the email listserv, but it's always better to confirm that. Thank you.
And just as a reminder, Jackie, if you don't hear from us, you're always welcome to call the community board office.
Okay, sure. We were actually going to stop by the office tomorrow because we also submitted our application for the Block Association. And when we called this afternoon, we were told to come to the meeting and maybe ask what the status was for the application.
Okay, so we do not handle, is it for a block party?
No, it's just an association. We used to have an association before, but the person passed, and we're looking to start it over.
When did you drop the application off?
Since last year.
But you're added to the email, so I could talk to you tomorrow. I'll be in the office tomorrow. Usually once you submit your application, we add you to the email. But if you're looking for assistance or directive on how to, move forward with your association, we try to give some help in that manner. But we really do not handle block associations, but we're here to encourage and assist.
Sure. Thank you so
And
much.
when we get to any other business, I'll share some more information with you.
We really appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Anytime.
Did she drop her email though? Do we have something at least? Or Jackie, if you don't mind.
Well, if she's coming to the office tomorrow, I'll see her and we'll
Okay.
have a
All
conversation.
right.
And I'll drop the email as well. Thank you.
Not a problem.
All right, and we do have other block association info to share. I can get it to Ms. Fraser. I can send it to you directly. I only say that because we have a strong association over here and we try to share it with up and coming blocks. But I'm in agreement with Ms. Fraser because each block, there are so many differences from block to block as well. It's just generic information we have.
Sure. Thank you so much.
No
Appreciate it.
worries. And Robin, we saw your hand as well. Robin, you have a question?
Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Robin.
Hello.
Good evening.
First, I want to just say congratulations for you guys getting a grant of that caliber. That's very nice. And I also like the idea of the shower bus. That's kind of nice. I guess our community can use something like that. But I wanted to find out, is this grant only for the shower bus? Could this grant be used for other things outside of a shower bus? Could it be used for like let's say for different uses in the community, or to do something for the community? Like let's say we want to do something on our block, or to beautify our block, or to enhance something. Is that type of funding extended to like block associations, that they could apply for something and to help fix something or do something on the block?
You want me to
Mr.
answer
Bennett?
that? Want me to answer that? I can answer that.
Sure.
Yeah, so this project has already been applied for, right? Someone has applied for it and they described the project. Now, I don't know that it contained anything like that. But I would be surprised if it did, because it seems very focused on the bus, right? So is it possible to take this money for purposes outside of what was originally intended to? Maybe. That's a possible maybe, if there is a process for amending the application. Now, having said that, as I mentioned before, any organization, and any governmental agency can apply directly to the Congresswoman for another grant cycle. This grant is from the year that just passed, the fiscal year that just ended in October. We're now in the 2025 year. And so there may be a process now to apply for that money, the 2025 money, but you would have to contact the Congresswoman's office. That's what I would do. Because they may have already decided, I don't know, they may have already decided who's going to get what money, because maybe the application was already submitted. We only hear about it after it's approved and selected. Then we kind of take over and help the recipient spend the money. So, you know, the answer to your question is a possible maybe.
Okay, thank you for answering the question. So if we go to our congressperson like Yvette Clarke or someone like that,
Mhm.
that's in our community, is there a listing of grants that the neighborhood could apply for? Like, is it something like that? Do they have a listing or something like that? That would be helpful if we know what's
Yeah.
available or what
Yeah.
we can apply for.
It's possible. You know, I remember the day many years ago when I was a college student. I went to Brooklyn College, by the way. I graduated from there. Where they used to have the foundation library in Manhattan. And there, all you did was research foundations and how much money they were giving away and for what purposes and things like that. It was a whole library, right? Nowadays, of course, you have the internet. So that foundation library closed up decades ago. So to answer your question, there probably is a way to find out what's out there. And what's out there from the federal government as well as from the state government, as well as from New York City. So there are many ways of doing this now. It's gotten to the point where there are a lot of experts out there. So you're going to be competing with experts that know how to find the money, they know how to apply and all that. So don't let that daunt you, but understand that that's highly competitive. There's a lot of information out there, and it could be at your fingertip using the internet. So now that doesn't, it's possible that Yvette Clark's office could have a list. I don't know. It's possible. But it should not be that hard to find potential funding sources.
Thanks, Mr. Velez. And we're getting ready to wrap it up with this session. Ms. Robin, what I would like you to do is to put your email in the chat as well, or call the community board office. The reason I'm saying that,
I have our information.
oh, you do. We've been lucky on this block where we have had smaller grants that are dedicated grants for beautifying the block. So we can share that with you. These might be easier to get than, because I know with the Congress person and with the city officials as well, you can still do that. That's nicer and larger, but their time, I know some of the time frame, it's ended already for some of it here. So please, we're gonna send you what we have as well for the smaller grants. Any other questions for Mr. Velez before we wrap it up? And again, Mr. Velez is with HUD. He will be helping us with the grant portion of it, and the community board will have to figure out what we're gonna do regarding the shower bus. And I see Ms. Holmes Thomas, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Jose, I know in the past when there has been like disasters, these shower buses also included like washing stations with washers and dryers. Would that be happening with this one? I just wanted to know for, you know.
That's not a question for me. That would be a question to
That
Ms.
would be
Renaud
Lori.
or Ms. Frazier.
Okay. All right. If it
And
was
by-
included when they applied for the grant.
Exactly. And also, if I may, I don't have the proposal with me, and I've never seen it. So feel free
Okay.
to, Ms. Renee, to send me a copy of what was submitted by your predecessor, because I would like to see it, you know, and understand it at a more detailed level. But, you know, just thought I'd mention that. This way I can also help you in this process of getting it out the door.
And just to add a little bit, thanks, Mr. Velez, Ms. Holmes Thomas, we have to iron out a lot of different aspects of the bus. Again, we've seen and we've heard some of the buses that are currently running. It is supposed to be full service, and a major component of this shower bus is the support services, or as we say, the wraparound services that our community members will be receiving to get them back as more participatory community members. So we do have a lot of different things to discuss. But yes, the shower buses that we have, they do, the members that use these buses, they are able to do their laundry. Sometimes it's food.
Oh, that's great.
Sometimes there are vouchers that are given to them for different services. So there are a lot of discussions that we have to have regarding the bus part of it. Are there any other questions for Mr. Velez before he leaves us though? Anything else regarding the funding? If there are none, Mr. Velez, we want to say thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
And we will be in touch. Ms. Fraser, do you have anything for Mr. Velez?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Velez. It's good to
Okay.
see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Same here. Thank you.
Thank
people
you
are
so much.
wonderful.
Thank you so much. And
I
we
look
said-
forward to helping you out with this project.
Thanks a lot again.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
And also with us at this meeting, Mr. Velez, you're willing to stay if you would like. We know your time is limited like everyone else. At this meeting, we also have a representative from Department of Buildings and Miss Milka Ann Holmes Thomas. We came to you, Miss Thomas, because we have so many construction going on in our community. One of our community members had requested, and it affects us. Next to the church that I attend, we have a building that's being put up, and that church, even though we have a contract with them, and they're not supposed to be working on Sundays, I went to church last Sunday, and lo and behold, they were working. So we're hoping that, well, immediately we tried to rectify the problem. We didn't leave it at that. A 311 call was made. We documented it. We did everything on our end. But members of our community, there are questions from for the Department of Buildings regarding what's going on in our community. Ms. Micah Ann Holmes Thomas, welcome. Please introduce yourself. And I know you have your PowerPoint to share as well.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. And first, I must apologize. Whenever I'm speaking, I like to have a camera, but unfortunately, the device I'm at does not have a camera. So I tried logging in on my phone so at least you could see my face, but for some reason, it's asking me to download WebEx, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to do that on the jobs device. So suffice to say, yes, I know you all have particular questions regarding, construction in your neighborhood and different things. So if you need to know what is going on in your neighborhood in terms of construction and how you should prepare for construction taking place next door or near your property, I don't know if I can share two sets of information, but I'm going to do this for now. Let me see. I would not use the PowerPoint. Let me see if it comes up. Hold on a second. I did it before. Why isn't it not here? Why isn't it not here? Oh, because it's probably coming up on. Hold on a sec, folks. I'm sorry.
No worries. And while we're waiting for anyone else on here, if there is something that we're not covering tonight, please reach out to the community board. Please reach out to the housing committee. If it is related to us, Ms. Fraser will forward it to us immediately. We can see it now, Ms. Thomas.
Okay, so what I have done, basically, because it's kind of hard to explain, and I realize with the PowerPoint, it's not added in. This is the Department of Buildings website, and you could just Google NYC Department of Buildings, and you will come up with, this page. Now, as you notice, we have a home page, DOB, tenants, property owners, and business. All the tabs are here. It can be a bit convoluted, but if you go down here, you see that there's quick links and tabs. Now, for getting to find out what is going on in your property, if you go down on the left side under How Do I Get, you would see job status updates, right? So you will click here. Good. And the reason why you're going to do this is because you can get these updates about what is going on in your community and near to you. So what DOB will do is send you email notifications and what you need to do. So if you click right here, you see it come up with your email address, re-enter, and if you have a job number or job numbers you also very helpful links that we have here is are y'all still seeing it? Or did it disappear?
It just disappeared, at least on my end.
Yeah, so okay. I'll
No,
try this again. I wonder why it's not sharing. I'm highlighting it. Okay, there it is. Okay, so at least you saw. Okay, so here it is. So it helps you with the different job status types, codes, how to obtain a permit, permit renewal, and stuff like that. If you want to know about how to hire a professional, we also have all of this listed here on the front. And if you need any assistance, I normally say the best thing to do is to play around with a website. So this is where you can get updates of what is going on in your community. Now, I realize as you talked about the church, I will jump right in to that because I know time is of the essence. Okay. Hold on a second. Right. What happens when you have adjoining buildings that is doing, you need to know what is the owner's rights. They're like, if they're putting up a side, if there's a demolition, they're supposed to notify the neighbors that the building next door is coming down. And they do not get a demo permit, and there's certain requirements that they have to show us, that they let the neighbors on either side know, or if it goes to the back and there's a neighbor to the back, that they have to let us know that they sent out these notifications. And that's for demos. If you're putting up a sidewalk shed, there's certain requirements. A sidewalk shed is to extend 20 feet each side, depending upon the height of the building. And sometimes people say they put up the shed, nobody tell me anything, but it is required by law that we do this. So, and it's to protect your, not only for public safety, but also to protect your property. So that's another thing. So there are things that you can find out on the website if you need to know. So when it comes to putting up a building, regular construction hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this includes holidays. We have had complaints, oh, it's Martin Luther King Day, oh, it's President's Day, and they're still working. Holidays are not exempt. It's up to the contractor. Regular hours, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. However, if they want to work outside of that, like sometimes it's a big job and they need materials to come in, they would apply for what we call is an after-hour variance. And depending on what the variance is, we will grant it to them to start before 6 a.m., before 7 a.m., and to go after 6 p.m. Now, they can go 5:30 in the morning. Between 6 and 6:30, we can grant them to start, all depending upon what it is. If it's noisy, we may not grant it because people are still sleeping and whatever else. It all depends on what they want to do that first hour before construction starts. After 6 p.m., if they would like to work past that, normally if they're within 200 feet of a residence, which they have to let us know, we can grant them that until 9 o'clock at night. Very rare we let them go beyond 9 o'clock. Now, if it's a school, which is different, that they can only work when school and there's nobody in the building, that's a different situation because that's under the school construction agency, and agency to agency, we grant them. Okay. And on a weekend as well, Saturday and Sunday. Normally, after hour variances are not granted on a Sunday. They are not granted on a Sunday. Okay. And only special occasions and events, especially if it's a school, we will grant it. Okay. And there's certain parameters for them to work on a Saturday and a Sunday. Now, coming to your situation, that this construction was working on a Sunday, right? The same page that I just showed you, you could have gone into two areas, which is on that page, which is our business information system, or our DOB Now system. Put in the address and look for the jobs, okay? And to get the job numbers. And you can also see if they have an after hour variance, okay? And if it was granted or not. Now, they did not have an after hour variance. I know this, to work on a Sunday, and even if you send me the information and give me the address, that was wrong. Now, it's very hard for them to get a violation because on a weekend, no, let me go back. Any violations that is given, the inspector must see for himself and observe. We cannot go back and give them a violation because you told us they were working that Sunday. Okay? What we ask you to do is to file a 311 complaint. And with any complaints that you want to file, whether it's your neighbor doing construction and damage to your property, and that sort of thing, we always ask that you make a 311 complaint. When you make this complaint and you get the 311 number, we ask that you let your community board or elected official office know. You send them the email and said, listen, my address is, I'm having an issue with what the address is. I made a 311 complaint and waiting for status. And what this does is they will contact my unit, the community liaisons for whatever CB. And unfortunately, I am not the liaison for CB7. He's on 17. He's on vacation, and I'm just filling in to do this. They will contact the liaison for CB17 and say, listen, we got a complaint from X, Y, and Z regarding this, and this is the 311 complaint number. When we receive that email, we go and do our investigation, and then we send it to the inspection unit, and based upon the severity, we get it done. Now, if you say to me, it happened this Sunday, and it happened the second Sunday, and you send it to our unit, what we're going to do, we're going to alert our ERT, which is our emergency response team. They work 24/7. We can let them know, listen, this construction site is being a bad actor. They don't have an approved AHV to work on a Sunday, but we've been getting complaints from the church that they're working. We will send an inspector out. And if the inspector drives up and they are working without a valid permit to do that work, they will get a violation. The same thing if they work past 6 o'clock, the same thing if they start to work before 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Okay? Even on a Saturday, if they are working and there are no authorized approvals for the working after hours, which we call an AHV, and an inspector goes out there, they will get a violation. If they see other things when they get out there, also they will get a violation for that. So I hope that helps you, Carol, and the church. So you make the 311 complaint, you send the email, to your elected office or the community board. The community board let us know, and we will take it from there. So, like I said,
Yes, it does, Miss Holmes Thomas. We pretty much stopped at the 311 call though, because we spoke with them and they didn't do it the following Sunday. But yes, it does. Now I know we have more information.
Yes.
But I see Jackie and Marina, they have a question for you.
Okay, we can stop and answer a question.
Hi, Ms. Holmes Thomas, how are you?
I'm okay.
I want to just say, I have been calling buildings in our neighborhood.
Hold on a second, Jackie. I'm not hearing you. Can you
Okay,
speak a little louder, please?
this is Marina speaking. Okay, we have been calling buildings on Albany Avenue between here and Clarendon for the past 3 months, and they've been very helpful. But what I'm noticing is the buildings department has been coming out to a new owner of a building on our block. He
Mhm.
took the backyard and in one weekend with about 12 cement trucks. He
Mhm.
cemented the whole backyard and he started to dig down and he made like a whole storage unit. Coming to find out he owns the hardware store on Avenue D. So he was making his backyard into a part of the hardware store. So
Okay, before you go, wait, before you go any further, do you have the address?
1244 Albany Avenue, Brooklyn.
444?
1244.
1244. Okay. Now here's what I'm saying. When things goes on a weekend, it's very hard, you understand, for us to catch them in action. Now,
Oh, you
okay,
guys have. You guys
okay,
have.
wait a minute. Hold on. A stop work order.
Mhm.
Okay, wait, that's 2024. Hold on a second,
On
hold on.
1248. It's 2 lots he has.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so now I see here that he has a stop work order. Okay, and he also have civil penalties that are due.
Correct.
Now, you have, like I said, once you have the 311 number, and you're learning this today, you have to let us know that you placed a 311 call, because right now the last 311 complaint that I see here on his property profile is from December 2024.
Yes.
Okay, what is the next property that you said he owns?
Well, he owns it's 2 lots. So he has a small house and a huge yard. So it's 2 lots that is made into one. So it has 2 different numbers. I think it's 1244 and 1248.
Okay, hold on a second, because our records show that there's only one building on the lot, and I don't see anything merged. So I will go back here, and you said 1248.
Yeah, CPC 1248.
Okay, let's see. Hold on a second. I do see 1248. Let me just go back here and check something. Yes, it's the same owner. He probably bought both properties. But he cannot, and as a matter of fact, he has a restriction on doing any work on this property.
That's why
Okay,
he wants to kill Jackie.
so this is why I'm saying it's important when you make that 311 complete and you have the 311 number, you email it
Send it to
to
us.
the CB or your elected office and let them contact us, and then we can take it from there. Because like I said, I'm looking at it here, and I'm seeing what it is. On 1248 Albany Avenue, he has no complaints. He does have a DOB violation, but we could look into this further. You understand? And because it's happening on a weekend, you understand? Because it's happening on a weekend, we cannot see it right away.
Well,
It's
what
not like,
happened is you guys came out about 10 times because I had a number 212 number in Manhattan. The
okay,
last papers I saw on the door a couple weeks ago was buildings asking to do an inspection. Because I took pictures of all the different papers. These guys were coming out every day. They caught it with the trucks. They caught it with all the problems.
okay,
And they keep giving him violations, and he just kept doing it.
okay. I am looking at the property profile. You are saying DOB came out there. You sure it's DOB or DOT? or HPD, because sometimes, and I'm looking at the property profile, and if you're saying that they came out there 6 times, it is not on record. It is not on record. I am going from what I see here.
So
Okay.
it has to be HPD or one of them win.
Exactly. So this is why I say to you, okay, and sometimes when you make 311 complaints, you have to be careful of how you're making the complaints, because it could go to other agencies. You have to mention the word construction for it to come to DOB. Okay. So once again, if you see anything happening, you make the 311 complaint. You could do it online. You could put as much information, and it can be anonymous. You have the 311 number. You send the email to the community board and or the elected office. They will get in contact with us, and we will take it from there.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding 311 complaints?
So what is the recommendation for now?
So what would you decide now? Because he's still pursuing to make it into a commercial property.
Like I said, once you send that to us and he has a stop work order violation on the job, and I say, listen, he has a stop work order, it exists, he hasn't done anything to rectify this as of November, okay, everything is in here. He has a violation also that he has not taken care of. The building marshal went out there. You see, I am seeing things that you don't know. So help me to help you. Okay? All right?
Thank you
Help
so
me
much.
to help you, because you are seeing something and it may not be the right thing that you're seeing or the right persons that are out there. All right? And he had to go to court in February. He had until and it's a class 1 violation. And once you tell me that, they could go out every day for 30 days and give him a violation. I don't see a 311 complaint here, so nobody knows to go out there and do this. So I'm telling you, this is the process.
Thank you.
All right? This is the process. And I always say, when I have my team and I had, I used to be in charge of a unit, I always used to say, the meeting outside of the meeting does not help. Say what you need and get the response. So and I know this, the neighborhood, they sit down and they talk and they quarrel and they amongst themselves, and then there is no action. But there
So
is a remedy.
Miss Holmes Thomas, it has to be documented. Everything has to be documented.
Exactly. Okay? Exactly. And from what I'm seeing here, and let me go back just one more spot.
Miss Holmes Thomas, are you able to share your screen, or you're logging in from a back end from a work screen? Miss Robin is asking if you can share your screen.
No, I can't because
it's a work screen. We understand.
It's a work screen. Yes.
We understand.
Okay. It's a work screen. Sorry, folks. And yes, there was a 311 reference number the last time that they did it. Okay. So hold on 1 second. Let me see something here. We do have a public portal. I'm going into the public portal now to see if I will be able to share it with you. Albany Avenue.
I've walked the streets of Albany, Jackie, and I have tried to get on.
Okay, so I'm going to share this. Let me see if it comes up.
Okay.
And if there are any questions after this, because we're looking at the time as well.
Right. So you see the screen. From the time I saw this this red banner, I knew something was up. Right? If I click on the red banner, it takes me straight here. You see what I'm showing you?
Yeah.
And look at the date. The date it was entered was November 23rd. If I click here, I see that they went out there on November 25th, right? And issue for failure to obey a stop work order. So they got the stop work order and they were still working, but look at the date. We have nothing new. They also have an ECB violation, which is this one that I just highlighted. So I could go back here. Okay, great. This is the public portal. So when you go on to the public portal, there's certain information that we have that you cannot see. The other thing, you see this ProCert restriction, this, because of what he did, he cannot professionally certify any jobs. He has to have a job, a job number, a building's job number. See where it says violation and oath, and then you see one open ECB violation. If I click here, you see everything. Okay, December 23rd. All of these he got last year, 6 of them. None of which, okay, so you understand what I'm telling you? None of which he has addressed. And they are all class 1s, except this last one, which is a class 3. Okay, if I click this one, see, violation issued for tampering and removing a written post against a stop work order. He owes a lot of money. And even though he didn't go to oath, he still have, you see this red section here?
Certified.
Yes, he has to. You could go to oath and pay the money, but if you are not in compliance, this violation will stay open. Okay, so we do have some.
In our neighborhood, it is that right down the block of that deep, the neighborhood, there's a Kennedy Fried Chicken. There's a house right next to Kennedy and Albany, and he bought the house and he made it into a construction house. Only tiles and crap. And he has violations on that house, and he doesn't care.
Okay, right. So he does not care because he feels nobody said anything to us about it.
Right.
Once we get the information through the community board or the elected, okay, we have to act on this. And because he's a bad apple, and you are telling me this, make this 311 complaint. I could call them and say, listen, look at this property profile. Look how many violations he has that he has not taken care of. And we are getting another complaint.
And he's still doing it.
Right. Now, the thing is, and I want people to understand this, the Department of Buildings is not NYPD. We are an enforcement agency for building codes, zoning, and rules. All we're going to do is give him another violation, and it becomes aggravated, meaning the penalties go up. He wouldn't be able to sell that property. He wouldn't be able to do anything unless he clears these violations. Okay? And once a property has all these violations, after a while, we may have litigation. Okay? But that is a very long process. Okay? So some people feel they could get away with it and do what they want. And as I say this, I want you guys to know as homeowners, and I'm going to say it a third time, as homeowners, that property is not yours to do as you will. Okay? It is owned by the bank, one, and until that mortgage is paid off, it is still governed by the building code, zoning, rules. Okay? I know there's a lot of people, oh, I could fix this in my house. Why I need to pay a professional? I could do this. You don't know the building codes. There's some renovations. There are some renovations that you could do without a permit. And then there's some that you have to get a permit to do. The Department of Buildings is not trying to make money and take your money, but it's because of your safety. Okay?
Amen.
Miss Holmes Thomas, I just want to, I'm looking at the time, and I know Miss Simone Sylvester, she's had her hands up.
Thank you
Miss
so much.
Simone?
Thank
Okay.
you.
You will get my email, trust me.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jackie and Marina. We just want to give other people chances to ask their questions.
We
Thank you guys
appreciate it.
so
Thank
much.
you, Miss Carol. Thank you.
Miss Simone?
Oh, hi, thank you. I'm sorry for being late. Thank you. My question is that I actually go down to homeowners night in downtown
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn. And is that the same
Right?
as 311? I mean, I go down there and they
No,
kind of,
no.
I don't know, I don't, I don't know. So I'm not sure
Okay.
if that's,
Okay. Buildings after hours or homeowners nights is for homeowners, tenants, renters. If they have an issue with their property, they can come and find out. Like for instance, I want to renovate
After that,
my backyard. I
just start
want to do
what you
something.
have to
I
get
want
match me.
if I need a permit. Um, I got a violation. How can I resolve this violation? We don't necessarily
You
take
need some stuff from
complaint.
Florida?
Now, somebody from my unit is here
No. You know,
on a
supposed
Tuesday
to be
night,
in
the
June,
first and third Tuesday
so
this month. We are here next Tuesday,
October.
which is the 8th.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. No, we're not
So
to be dressing.
if you have a complaint, right, and they know that we are here, they may call, somebody may say, you know, there's a homeowner who has a complaint, there's a tenant who has a complaint, and we will take it here and we will tell you what to do. Just like I said, make the 311, send the email, and then it gets to us. We facilitate you that way. Okay?
thank you.
So if it's a complaint that you came down here to talk about, they would call one of us, or I would suggest, like you found out tonight, do the 311 complaint. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Before we go further, I see the name Dawn Pankey on here. Is this the Dawn Pankey I know?
I don't know. Who are you?
Do you go to DBC? Do you go to
yes,
DBC?
yes.
Okay. Yes. That's you.
Hi.
Hi. Maybe if my face was up there, you would see it, but
No, I don't see your face. Yeah.
no, because I don't have a camera.
No
But you
problem.
see, good thing I'm behaving tonight. I mean, she
Good
doesn't know
thing.
my name.
Good
If
thing
she
I
had
have to
seen
go
my,
back to church. Yes.
all right. We even serve on the children's committee together, but that's okay. So you see what you all did to me, Carol? No, people know my secrets. Any other questions? Okay.
No. Miss Sylvester, would you like to ask a question? Your hand is still up.
No, I'm
Oh.
sorry. I'm sorry. No more questions.
Okay, Dr.
Okay.
Renee, over to you.
All right. So when I spoke to Miss Frazier earlier, she alluded to a construction site or somebody doing construction and they damage your property. Okay? Now, you are telling us that they damaged your property. We are going to say alleged. You do the same thing. You make the 311 complaint, you send it in to the elected office or to the community board, and they get in contact with us. Now, I pulled up an issue as she told me that, and they sent us pictures of the damage and everything else. I also asked them, sometimes we ask for a point of contact, because if we can't get in, we can't see, we don't know. There are people who call for 311 complaints, and when we get there, they don't open the door. Excuse me. So we asked for a point of contact. These people wanted us in there to see their basement. Now, when the inspector got there, yes, he did see the damage. He did see what the construction site was doing and the water and the concrete that was pouring into their basement/cellar. We are very careful when doing such inspections for damages because, one, we cannot ascertain how long this crack has been there. They know things that look recent. Sometimes things happen and people go, oh, they cracked my wall, they cracked this. If they cannot determine when this happened, you may get a violation because you're not keeping your place in a code compliant manner. So we try to be very careful. Okay, we will investigate the next door wherever the construction is going on. But once again, if they don't allow us to come in and they cannot see, meaning the DOB inspection, they cannot see for themselves, we have to work things out another way. Fortunately for this couple, that construction site next to them was a problem. And once again, they did the 311 complaint. They sent it into the elected office. They sent me the pictures and everything. And I said to them, do I have a point of contact? And the first time around, when the inspector got there and he called, nobody answered the phone because apparently they stepped out. And I was like, no, these pictures. And even when I showed it to the inspection unit, they said, no, this has to be done. And I called them back. I spoke to the homeowners. I said, listen, I don't know when they're going to come out, but because this, and I see the damage, I'm going to try to see if I could get somebody out there today. I called up the chief and I was on the phone, who he had in the area. You know, it was like a three-way conversation going on with the homeowner, the elected office, and everything. I said, I'm going to let the inspector call me. I will call you, and please be at home so he could come in and see. And it ended up working out. Yes, the neighbors got a violation, and they were also supposed to fix their property. That's the end for us. They got the violation. They're supposed to fix the property. If the property does not get fixed or rectified, like Carol says, Ms. Renault says, Dr. Renault, it's documented. So now you could take them to court because DOB came out, they got an action, you spoke to them, there is a liability, they didn't do it. So now you take them to court and it's a legal matter. We have done our part. So, so that is if your property is damaged. Okay. If you are doing a job in your house and a permit for electrical, plumbing, construction is activated by the contractor, there are going to be inspections. Unless it's a professionally certified job where the architect of record takes responsibility for the job. There's certain paperwork he has to send in or she has to send in. And if you're comfortable with that and they take responsibility, if anything happened, it's now a legal matter between you and them because DOB did not come out and inspect. So a lot of people try to go the pro-cert way because they figure nobody coming to see. And sometimes even when a permit is pulled, when the inspector get out there and he looks at the drawings, the way that they construct the place or the way the plumbing is done or the way the electrical is done is not what they sent in. And of course you have to get a violation. So yes. And we are very careful with plumbing and gas, explosions, electrical, close to water or gas, your house come down, you know. So, and this is why we ask people not to fix them houses themselves because there's codes and rules. Okay. I hope you got a lot of information, and I had to deviate from the PowerPoint because it's telling you what DOB does. So I prefer to answer the questions.
Thank you so much, Ms. Milka and Holmes Thomas. This conversation to me, it's to be continued because there are, and I'm hoping, are there any last minute questions though that we might need to ask, Ms. Thomas, Miss Holmes Thomas.
Okay, you could call me Milka Thomas. I'm okay with the first and last. I know it's long. I know it's a lot. So Thomas is okay.
Any burning questions before we
I would say this to you and Miss Frazier. We do something what is called DOB in your office. And what we can do is set up something. Like I say, this is not my CB, but this is something that we can speak about and schedule it, because we know people work after hours. Getting approval for overtime is a little, but if they have particular questions, some people may not have wanted to say what their issue is out here in the open. We will come, we will set up a date and time. We ask you to ask them if you know what their issues are, if what questions they have. We'll come to your office and they could come in and meet with us.
to the community
DOB.
board office?
Yes, or the elected office. It all depends which one requires us. We do that. Okay, that's a service we provide.
All right, we're gonna reach out to you, Miss Thomas, and Miss Fraser. I've written it here that we will be reaching out. Maybe it is something we can do when FDC is doing their workshops as well.
Okay,
Yes.
no problem.
And just to be
Yes.
cognizant of everyone's time, I'm looking at the time and it's 9:03 p.m. Some people, I know they texted me, they had to leave. We just want to say thank you so much to Miss Milka Ann Holmes Thomas. I love your name, and I want to respect saying your entire name. And everyone on here, we appreciate you joining. We have action items that we will be completing. So for example, Jackie, we're going to be sending you the Block Association information. And Robin and Jeff, we're going to be sending you the small grant information. And everyone on here, if we have your email, we will be sending you additional information as well. Thank you so much again, Ms. Holmes Thomas. And Ms. Fraser, you have anything to add before we end?
Other than the approval of the minutes.
Before you end, I see somebody saying, I'm interested in the office meeting. If you're interested in something like that, please let the community board know, or Ms. Frazier know. And this way they can talk to us about having something like that done.
Is
Okay?
there a certain amount of people that
It all
have to sign
depends
up
on
before?
time. It all depends on time, place,
Okay.
Well,
it's going to be in the
Yeah.
office, and of course, it has to be during the daytime hours between 9 and
Right.
5.
Exactly.
So, I just want to know if there should be a specific number before scheduling the meeting.
Well, we have one coming up. I just found out about. My colleague asked me to do it with her, and it's from 10 to 1.
Okay.
So, right. And what we do, I've done it before with other colleagues and stuff, where they ask people, they put it out there, DOB is going to be in the office, and they try to strategically, schedule them. And if it's 2 of us coming, they may do 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, that type of thing. And if it's 2 of us, and we try to be concise, because some people just want to talk and talk. What is the issue? What's the address?
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe if the Housing and Block Association would like to schedule a meeting specifically for that purpose, then it's something we could
Yes.
work on and send out
Yes.
notices to find out how many residents
Right.
would be interested. So,
Right.
Dr. Renaud, maybe something we could discuss.
We definitely can, Ms. Fraser. I believe
that's-
there is a need, because
Yeah.
we've heard complaints, and like Ms. Holmes Thomas is saying, maybe people don't want to say it in a public forum.
Absolutely.
So
I also would like to make an announcement before you close. I know Robin is here. The board's office is open for block association meetings during the daytime hours between 9 and 5. We do have a hybrid, you could have your hybrid meetings. Robin, are you still there? Robin could share with you just briefly because it's 9:07 and we want to be respectful, but the board's office is open. I'm encouraging block associations. And even if you have an organization, non-for-profit, you cannot come into the office to sell anything. But if you would like to have a meeting, the office is open between 9 and 5. Robin,
Yes, I'm here.
go ahead.
Oh, what do you?
Briefly about the meeting.
Oh, yes, I had stopped into the office. Wait, let me see if I can put the video on. Okay, yes.
Oh,
So
look
I
at
had
you.
I had stopped into the office because I was interested in doing starting a block association, and the process and everything went well. Miss Frazier and her team welcomed me, and they were able to allow us to use the location to have a meeting. I had a virtual and an in-office in-person meeting, and I was fortunate enough to be able to have it at oh my gosh, at yes, at Community Board 17's office. Okay, I don't know why I was having a minute. I was having a moment. But anyway, we were able to have the meeting there. Everything went well. We had people come in and actually sit in for the meeting, and we also had people call in. So I thought it would be a good idea to have it virtual and in person because everyone it was during the afternoon. So people work. So I just wanted to make it accessible for the people who could not come. So it was successful, I would say, and we were able to get things rolling. So I appreciate the team over there, Farah and Miss Frazier. I thank you guys, and every time I've went there, their doors has always been open to me, and that has not been my first time there. I've been there several times, so thank you guys.
You're welcome. So we are also working with another group. I just sent a response. This group is actually looking to encompass about 3 to 4 blocks on their block association. So I am excited that we're getting back to forming, and we are in the process of onboarding a new staff, and that staff will be working directly with weekend events. We want to make sure that that's included in tasks and standards, and we want to make sure that we have representation at tabling at events on the weekend. So there are a couple of things that we're doing to incorporate all the associations and to make sure that the board is present. So thank you, Robin, and any other association that's interested in utilizing this space, just
You're
give us
welcome.
a advance notice. And it's a beautiful space. It's hybrid. We have the big TV at the front. You could sit there and communicate with those online and those in person. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ms. Fraser, and we will wrap it up. And I see some real estate people on here. I see healthcare professionals on here. Please reach out to us. We truly appreciate your time. And take us to the test. We don't just want to get on here at these meetings and say we're going to do something and we don't do it. Please hold us accountable. So call the community board office, email us. Ms. Fraser, do we need to approve the minutes or we're fine?
Yeah, you have to approve the minutes. If not, I have to put it back on the agenda next month.
I'm going to make a motion. If I can have someone make a motion to approve the minutes, someone who was here at the last meeting, which was the March 5th meeting. Simone, I know you were here.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I should do what?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Simone Sylvester, board member, motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sylvester. If someone else was here, can they second that motion?
This is Dawn Pankey. I was here. I second the motion.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pankey, and we truly, truly appreciate everyone on here. Again, please reach out to us. I have my list. When I log off, I'm going to be emailing you that grant and the block information tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. Thanks again, Ms. Frazier, and thanks so much to our guest, Ms. Milka Ann Holmes Thomas. Thank you so much. Take care,
Thank you.
everyone.
Please copy
You're
me.
so very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
Hopefully I see you on Sunday, Dawn.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Here, bye-bye, everyone.
It's
Bye-bye. Good
amazing
night.
it's amazing when we reconnect and we see people we know.
Okay. Good night,
Good
all.
night.
Thanks so much again. Take care.
I'm ending now. Thank you.